Hey guys, thanks for checking out this week's video blog. I hope you're having a good week. If you've noticed on our Facebook page, you can download the PDF of the student handbook, and so we hope that you check that out and kind of see what's going on during our week of camp.
As you look through it, you'll see a thing called God is using me, He can use you too. Some of your names are on it, some of them aren't. What it is it is a basically almost a testimony time. I don't know. I don't want to use that term because it's jaded, but basically what you're going to do is I want you to share a story about how God has used you within the last few months. For me, it'd be 18 months ago. God challenged me to just really get in His Word, really learn to love it, to share it, to get to know it for myself. And so over the last 18 months, He's just really worked that in my life, and it's just really changed me. I mean, that's a shortened version of what it would be like, expand out on it a little bit. But that's basically what it is. How has God used you? And point it to, God can use you too, students. This isn't a huge thing. I didn't do this terrible thing in my past, but I'm just living my life every day for God, and He's challenging me to grow. So that's what we want you to do during that. God has used me, He can use you too. Something else I want to share with that. If you want to share something, if God has really been put it on your heart, we can make time for that during the week. That's why we're there, to share with students.
Yeah, if you check out page 2 in the student handbook, you're going to see the itemized thing called teams. And really what that is the adults that will be leading your groups. You'll be leading them together. But there's another thing in the schedule that you'll see. It's called family time. And what we're going to do is we're going to really break the teams down into small little families. It's going to consist of 1 adult and 3 to 5 students. And the goal here is for us to get to know students, get to know them, what their story is, kind of where they're from, their background. And so you'll gather in your teams for big team stuff, and then you'll break out of that team into families.
Yep, and what we want you to do during those family times, during the morning there's one at like 10 o'clock I think, and during that family time just debrief about what they've heard last night. Now that they've slept on it, they've thought about it a little bit, what they've heard in their lesson times and their morning devos. Another thing is that is going to lead into our quiz time at 11:15, 11:30, and what it is Kenny Todd's setting us up with some questions. It's going to review over what speakers have said, topics, messages, what they've read in their devos that morning, memory verses that he's going to give you at camp, and they can go through and memorize these memory verses. Random trivia. I mean, who knows what he's going to come up with. And so during that family time in the morning, just review, study a little bit for that quiz time. Then we'll have another family time. I think it's after worship. And what you're going to do then is just kind of debrief about what they just heard, what they can take away from it, and kind of how God is speaking on their heart that day.
I heard a story and watched a video a few weeks ago of a guy saying that he would call his students bro or brosif, and it wasn't because he thought they were cool, it's because he didn't know their names. And I tell you, that's one of the challenging things about having 125, 150 students show up at camp is knowing the names of students. And that's our big challenge for you as our team. People going to camp is learning to get to know the students, get to know their name, get to know their story. And here's a way that you can do that. You can sit with them at meals. We talked about in our last video how we don't want to sit with an adult on our left and on our right. We want to have students surrounding us really simply to build that relationship that will, in hope, share the gospel with them. And so it's really a simple thing. We just want you to know the students that are in your teams, the students that are at camp. And so associate their name with someone that you already know. Say their name many times in a conversation. Ingrain that name into your mind. I tell you, it'll make all the difference. Hey, thanks for checking out this blog, and we will see you next Friday.